Welcome back, budget baking friends. Today we are making a double vanilla pumpkin pie. Yes, you heard me right, double the vanilla. And I like to make my pumpkin pies with graham cracker crust instead of your typical flour pie crust. Now, I am going to give you an estimate for this recipe. However, I would like to say that this recipe typically makes one pumpkin pie. However, because I use the graham cracker crusts, they're a bit smaller than your average pie crust plate. So I can get two pies out of the one recipe by using the graham cracker crust. Now, let me say this. You can make your own floured pie crust. You can buy the pre-made pie crust from the store. You can purchase the graham cracker crust as I have done, or you can make your own graham cracker crust. So the price of this recipe is going to vary depending on which crust you decide to use. Okay, so this recipe costs approximately $6 to make, and that is including purchasing a pre-made pie crust from the store. Okay, the floured type of pie crust. You can make your own and it would be less than $6. You could also buy these, which is going to be between the $6 and $7 range. It depends because see, I get all of my products on sale. So this recipe is going to use pumpkin puree. So if you purchase a pumpkin and make your own puree, again, the cost of this dish is going to decrease. So that's why I give a range because it depends on the ingredients that you use and purchase. Okay, now that that's all out of the way, it's definitely less expensive to make your own pumpkin pies. Sorry. And it's better for you too because then there's no preservatives or anything like that in there. All right, let's get going. How about that? How about I stop talking and we get to baking? Okay, so what we're going to do is I have a glass bowl here, fairly large glass bowl. All of our ingredients are going to be added to said bowl and we are going to mix them with this, not with the mixer. All right, so let's get rolling here. So we're going to start out with our pumpkin. All right. Actually, you know what? I take that back. We're going to start out with our sugar so that my measuring cup doesn't get dirty with pumpkin when I need it for the sugar. See? It's all about using this. Okay, so this recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar. So let's go ahead and get our 1 cup of granulated sugar in our bowl. Easy peasy, right? This is actually a very easy recipe. All right. All right, done. Now it requires 2 eggs, 2 large eggs. We'll get to that in a moment. And then we're going to use pumpkin, and we are going to use evaporated milk. Now, I often do like to use, let me grab a spoon. I do like to use fresh pumpkin. However, I used all my fresh pumpkin for a pumpkin chocolate chip bread recipe that I had someone order. So we're going to use this delicious pumpkin for this pie recipe. All right, so 1.5 cups of pumpkin. I know everybody says this, but it's not pumpkin pie filling. It's simply pureed pumpkin. All right, let's get that in there. There's 1 cup right there. And now we're going to add another half. A little bit more. We still have a little bit left in the can, but it's not quite 1 whole can. All right, that's half. Let's get that delicious pumpkin in there. All right. Close that up. Now, even though there's still some pumpkin left in here, it's okay because we can measure the evaporated milk in here and then we'll get the rest of the pumpkin out of the cup. All right, so It calls for the whole can, but like I said, I want to get the pumpkin out of the cup, okay? You with me? Stay with me, friends. All right, here we go. You're probably like, Deanna, is it really worth it? Yes. I don't like to waste. Look at that. All right. Now we can go ahead and put the rest of the can in there. Okay. Beautiful. All right, let's add our eggs. 2 large eggs. I always crack my eggs in a separate bowl. Nobody likes crunchy pie. All right, I'm going to actually whisk those up a little bit. Wow, look at those yolks. They are so bright. I buy my eggs from a local farm. It's definitely worth it. First of all, you're supporting local, right? Second of all, they just taste better and they're healthier for you. Okie doke. Because they're fresh. Let's pour that on in there. Beautiful. There's a little bit of pumpkin left on the spoon here. Let's get that off. Lovely. I've been singing a lot today. It's the holiday time. I am happy to be in the kitchen baking. I'm happy to be here with you guys. All right. So, like I said, this is a double vanilla pumpkin pie. So we're going to use not 1, but 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is a clear vanilla, just in case you're wondering why you can't see it. That would be why. All right, so let's mix this up a little bit because if you recall correctly, we put the sugar. I recall correctly. How about that? I put the sugar at the bottom. So it'll stick a little bit, you know, because we added the wet ingredients on top of it. So we want to break it up. But I do have some more ingredients to add to this pie, of course. We have some spices and a little bit of flour. All right, so let me tell you what we've got. I have got everything already mixed here in this ramekin. So while I'm stirring, I'm not ignoring you, but I don't want it to slosh out. While I'm stirring, I'm going to tell you what I have in here. So I have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It just depends. I prefer closer to the 1/4 of the teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of flour, all-purpose flour. Just helps bind it a little bit, bind the pie. Okay. To be honest with you, I prefer the dark vanilla because I like to see the little specks of vanilla in my pie. But I'm sad to say that I ran out, so I'm using the clear vanilla. It's okay though. I'll live. All right, so now we're gonna add our spices and our flour. There's a little, hold on, there's a little lump in my flour there. Okay, we're gonna just shake that on in. Oh wow, that smells good. Really good. See, now we've added the cinnamon and the dark colored spices, so I get to see my specks. I don't know what it is. I just like to see the dark specks in the pie. All right, so, you know, the flour has to be broken up and dissolved. So we're going to have to stand here for just a minute and whisk this up because we don't want any chunks of flour in there. And I tried to shake it out, but, you know, flour just clumps up when it's liquid. It's what it does. And since it's not overheat, it is what it is. You know, if you're making a roux or something, once you add your milk, you know, it breaks up a little bit, but the heat helps with that. All right. All right, so pumpkin pie. Let's talk about pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is perfect for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for New Year's. Sometimes I make pumpkin pie for Christmas in July. Hey, that rhymes. You could really, of course, make it any time of year. You can get canned pumpkin whenever. But isn't it just perfect for the holidays? Just the smell of all the spices. If you guys could smell this right now, you'd be in heaven. You would just be in heaven. I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven right now. Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour this evenly into these two pie shells. I'm going to do it. I can do it. Okay. So you know what? I could definitely take a measuring cup and do this, but it's okay. I'm going to eye it. I'm going to eyeball it. All right. Let's head over here. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Let me grab my spatula because I want to make sure I get it all out of this bowl. Look at that. That really does smell good. I want to eat it now, but I can't. I'm actually baking for Thanksgiving right now. But by the time you guys see this, it'll be after Thanksgiving. And you could, well, at least this year it will be. Next year, you can watch it before. And you can make it maybe in time for Christmas. All right, so check it out. So we have 2 double vanilla pumpkin pies right here. I am going to heat the oven. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I have something in the oven because like I said, it's Thanksgiving and I do the baking and that's what I'm doing. I'm baking. So after what I've got in the oven comes out, I will increase the temperature of the oven to 450 degrees and I will bake these pies for 20 minutes. Then I'm going to decrease the temperature down to 350 degrees, and I am going to continue baking for approximately 10 minutes, and they should be done. But you know what? My oven is a little temperamental lately, so they may not be done at that point. So I would put them back in for a few more minutes until they were done. How do you tell if a pumpkin pie is done, you might be thinking? Well, let me tell you. So right now, when I look at the pie, like when I stand back and I look at the tops of the pies, they're super shiny because it's liquid right now. So after it bakes, what happens is the top of the pie has a matte finish. And what happens is the pies bake from the outside in. So the middle of the pie is the last to bake. So when you look at your pie in the oven like this, because you kind of have to get down at the level of the pie, chances are what's going to happen is you're going to see the matte finish from the edges to the center, and then right in the center, it's still going to be shiny. It's not done at that point. When the whole top of the pie has a matte finish, it is fully baked. Okay, and that's how you tell if your pumpkin pie is ready to come out of the oven. So as soon as this item is done, I'm going to get my pies in the oven. We will take a look at them. Now, because I bake my pies a couple of days, 1 to 2 days before I need them, because in my opinion, pies taste better after they've sat for 24 hours. You can make a whipped cream topping. You can buy Cool Whip, absolutely. I like to have a little bit of pie with my cream topping. That's just how I like to eat it. So you can buy Cool Whip or you can make your own topping. And what I do when I make my own is I use heavy whipping cream. I use about 1 cup, although if there's 2 pies like this, we're going to go with 2 cups. If you're making topping for 1 pie, you can go with 1 cup. If your family is all about the whipped topping, go with 2 cups. So let's say for these pies, I'm going to make 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to mix them in my mixer with the whisk attachment until soft peaks form. Then I'm going to add 1 to 2 cups of powdered sugar. It depends how sweet you like your topping. And then I'm going to continue to mix it until stiff peaks form. Once those stiff peaks form, it's done. You can slather it over your pie, or you can pour it in a separate container, pop it in the fridge, and have it for when you're ready to eat your pie. I hope I didn't put too much information out there for you today, but I at least wanted to give you an idea of how to make your own whipped topping for these delicious pies, because I don't know if you could eat pumpkin pie without whipped topping. You could, but I don't want to. All right, so we'll be back. You could take a look at the pies and see how beautiful they looked after they're baked. And here are the 2 finished pies. Please excuse my voiceover, but the microphone stopped working in the video. So what I do is I put my pies on a cookie sheet and I use that to transport it to and from the oven. This way there's no spillage.